absolute fucking chaos. That's what this season is. That's what you're gonna get. Do you want chaos? Suck. You want chaos this season?
We've got fucking chaos. That's
You're gonna get fucking chaos. Jesus Christ, man! I thought last weekend was wild, which it was. But this season, this weekend, I mean, both college, both days. Well, so we're just gonna jump right into it. Start with a little bit of news, though. We do have two big breaking pieces of news. First off, how the hell does this work? Okay, I had the wrong button on. First off, Scott Frost has been fired.
What a loser.
What a loser. He, of course, has had a couple of struggling seasons. Did okay there a little bit. Saturday, however, he lost to Georgia Southern.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. To be fair, no, not to be fair. There's no to be fair. There's nothing about that that's redeemable. You can't be...
It's Georgia Southern.
Yeah, you can't be the head coach of Nebraska, which, to be fair... Okay, this was to be fair. Nebraska kind of sucks. And it has for a while. And they just kind of need to, like, accept that it's not the 80s anymore, right? And just kind of move on. However, losing to Georgia Southern, who... I was gonna say, when I first heard that, I was like, oh, that's an FCS. No. They are an FBS team, just barely. I believe they joined the FBS in like 2012, but just barely. They kind of suck. He's gone. Do you remember what his buyout was? It was a lot.
I want to say I saw a 15 million floated around.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm not gonna lie. I would lose to Georgia Southern for 15 million too. Obviously, not in his case. That's not a great thing because this was his dream job. Scott Frost played for Nebraska in college, came back home. Everyone thought like this is it. This is the comeback, right? Well, apparently not. We're hearing that, and this is just a rumor, they're looking at Iowa State's Matt Campbell to come in and be the new head coach. I don't know how that's going to work out.
That's a very bold.
That is very bold. It's a different direction for the program, certainly. That'll be into the season. I'm guessing, I don't see it here in the article, but I'm guessing an OC or something has taken over coaching duties for the rest of the year.
Probably.
Yeah.
It was a $15 million buyout. And they could have saved $7.5 million if they waited till October, but they said, nope, this guy on this month.
Yeah, well, that's kind of bold because, I mean, when you fire a coach, like the next guy up, statistically is not really going to be a lot better. So, hey, man, it's your money, I guess. You do what you want with it. So, second bit of news, AP poll dropped today, of course. Drops on Sundays.
Yep.
Succ, remind me last week what I said about the narrative and how they were going to do with setting up Georgia and the overranked Oregon. What did I say? Did I say that they were going to wait until the first littlest misstep from Alabama and then shoot Georgia into number one?
Sure did.
I did say that. That's crazy. And it's even crazier because that's exactly what happened. So that will that's going to parlay us over into actually talking about the scores. There we go. If I can get it to the right fucking screen.
Now, explain to me what the AFCA coaches poll is, because they still have Bama ranked one.
Okay. All right. So, historically, there has been two polls. There has been the AP poll, which is the Associated Press, and it is kind of like
like those guys.
It's kind of like the go-to, right? Everyone respects them. Historically, back in the poll era, before like BCS and stuff, like they were the ones that decided who was the national champion. Like there was no national championship game before like the BCS. Right. It would just be at the end of the season, whoever was ranked number one by the AP, and then a handful of others. Everyone at the end would just go, okay, well, you're the national champion. So when you would play the game,
show.
Yeah, it wasn't the best system ever. But you would play a game and win, and then you go, okay, cool, that was fun, season over. And then, a day later, the AP would go, congratulations, you're a national champion. Hey, that's great. Whatever. But yeah, Georgia is the new number 1 with 53 first place votes. Alabama only at 9 at number 2. Obviously, I think this is bullshit. A lot of other people think this is bullshit. Because it is bullshit. Of course, the lesser point about this is Notre Dame, of course, is now unranked, setting up a lot of foreshadowing as we launch into the scores. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. And obviously, with the first one, we'll talk about the former number 1, Alabama at Texas. Now, let me bring up my notes. When we discussed this last week, I actually said, if you remember, I said take the under, which the over-under was, I want to say like 58, 61, somewhere in there. I said Bama will barely cover, which they were 20-point favorites. And then Texas won't score much. I was correct on one of those things. That was Texas won't score much. I didn't see this coming, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't realize Bama had such a receiver issue. And that was pretty apparent in this game.
Bama's receiver woes was pretty much the name of the game last year, and it was why they struggled against Arkansas. It's why they struggled against Ole Miss. It's why they lost to TAMU. It's why they lost to Georgia. Well, by the time they lost to Georgia, that was injuries mounting up and just fatigue and just I think everyone just kind of wanted the season to be over. But yeah, the receiver issues persistent this year. I hope they wouldn't, but dropped balls all over the place. Bryce Young still 27 for 39, which is not bad. 213 yards and a touchdown. The first half was, in short, an embarrassment. Now, we will say this. Quinn Ewers went down within the first 10 minutes of the game, maybe less.
It was like a stat drive or something.
It was not very deep into the game, no. Quinn Ewers went down. Quinn Ewers stays up, entirely different game. I will say Alabama's defense was pretty decent, especially in the second half. They were playing pretty shut down, which opened the door for the offense. Of course, the offense didn't even decide to even come to the game until the fourth quarter, mostly on the back of Bryce Young at that point, who pretty much kept the game alive with I want to say something like a 40-yard scramble on third down. Bryce Young looked like Johnny Manziel out there, to be quite honest. He looked like that kind of bullshit. Like, how did he get away with that? There was a great play where he got sacked in the end zone, except just kidding, he didn't actually get sacked. He just rolled over someone's back, got back up, and threw it away, which was hilarious. Doing a lot of that shit where it's like, oh, shit, he's down. He got tackled. And then he, runs for 40 yards. I was like, oh, okay. So you're going to do that, which I'll say this. It's nice to be on the other side of that. From Johnny Manziel doing it to us in 2012, Auburn quarterbacks doing it to us for the next couple of years, and oh god, was it Ole Miss in 2014 doing it to us with I can't remember that quarterback's name. It got annoying, so it's just nice to be on the other side of that for once. So
right, yeah, you see a lot of that in the NFL these days. Mm-hmm. Not a big fan of it.
Not a fan of it, no. Now, I will admit, I'm going to go ahead and admit it. I'm man enough to admit it. I fell asleep through the entire third quarter of this because this game sucked.
It was not a good game.
It was not a good game, no. As I said, the first half just, oh my God. So at halftime, I just kind of closed my eyes and I was like, when I wake up, we better be fucking winning. We weren't when I woke up, but we started. Bijan Robinson, who was supposed to be kind of the guy in this game, a little quiet. 21 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. Not bad. His receiving looks a little bit better. 3 touches, 73 yards for a long of 42, which is it's not bad. That was kind of, again, like I said, that's what kept Alabama in this game was their defense. And if Alabama had better hands and Quinn Ewers stayed in this game, this would have been a 60-something point game, easily.
Sure could have been.
But Wasn't. Hudson Card, backup quarterback for Texas, looked decent. He was actually pretty good. I will say this. Like Nick Saban said in the press conference, like people are kind of dumping on Texas and like, you shouldn't have almost lost to Texas. Texas is a way better team than people think they are. Watching Texas felt like it looked like Ole Miss. It looked like TAMU in the past couple of years. That's just what it felt like.
Now, is this the Texas that the next Manning is committed to?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be going there if it was a complete dog shit team. So.
And that speaks. So the way these boys are playing, I tell you what, the grit and the next man up attitude of Hudson Card speaks to what a coach Steve Sarkisian is, right? Steve Sarkisian, obviously an old assistant of Saban. What?
Card was limping for quite a bit of the fourth quarter as well.
Grit. That's all I can call it.
Grit. That's right. He's a dog.
He's a dog. Yeah, no, absolutely. I have tons of respect for Texas. I did like at the end, Saban was livid. He was screaming at boys on the field because they were doing the horns down thing. And it's like, no. No. You didn't earn that. You didn't earn that. That's That's Red River rivalry stuff, son. Like you won by 1 point. After, I didn't even mention the best point, was 17 penalties for 100 yards.
That was really bad.
Most in the Nick Saban era ever. Absolutely. This was the sloppiest game I have ever seen from the University of Alabama. And I have been watching for, over a decade or so. Absolutely a clown show. Just absolutely a clown show. But they won. They don't put asterisk in the record book. So we take it.
That's right.
Alabama's got L.A. Monroe next week in Tuscaloosa. I'm not even going to bother talking about that game because that's just, I guess they can beat them. I guess they can beat them. But yeah.
You'd hope so.
Hopefully they use this as a learning opportunity and go, okay, maybe we do fucking suck. So, speaking of sucking, there was a couple upsets this weekend. I think we mentioned that. I think we mentioned that.
Sure were.
First one that I really want to talk about. I'm going to get a little smuggy about it. My brother's down over in College Station. What's going on, baby? App State did it again. App State came into College Station and just flipped the bird to Jimbo and went, fuck you, my dude. 17-14, number 6, Tamu Falls. You love to see it.
I hate App State, but I do love to see that.
Again, yes, the recurring theme on this show, Succ. Not the biggest App State fan for betting reasons, but... what were my notes? I think we talked big about this. Actually, I said I loved this game. I wasn't feeling Tamu as the 17-point favorite, which that is funny because they got beat by 17, a total of 17. I did say I think it'd be closer. I did say slam the over at 54. It was 31. So again, we are not betting professionals on this show. Legally, we're not liable. So you took the money line on this because, and I quote, fuck App State. So based?
Yeah.
I
stick to my gun.
Hey, that's fine. Chase Bryce for App State, 15 for 30, 134 yards. This one was one on the ground, to be quite honest. Sean Davis, 4 receptions for 39. Look, just look at the depth chart here for their receiving. Absolutely crazy. Rushing, Cameron Peoples, 19 carries, 112 yards, 48 long. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. You love to see it. I love seeing Tamu lose, especially after all the shit that Jimbo tried to pull this offseason with. It's like, Nick Saban's buying players. It's like, yeah, man, you all are. Don't.
Yeah, we're literally in the buying players era of college football right now. So.
Yeah, it's like, cry more or just get good. Like one of those. Just pick
Get
one.
a bigger wallet, my dude.
Yeah, yeah, like secure the bag, my brother in Christ. Like, it's not that hard. You love to see Jimbo fall. Again, App State, not a terrible team. They beat who was it they beat last week that actually got you so angry at them?
No, they lost last week.
That was it. They lost
to UNC.
That was it. UNC is also a pretty good team, so
they had the 2 botched 2-point attempts.
That was it. Oh man, crazy they went from that to beating number 6, huh? This is why, in my opinion, we don't need a preseason poll. It's bullshit. It's so bullshit. Like, if you go back and look at preseason polls, aside from like Alabama being number 1, everyone in that top 10 is like, half them are like in the bottom 20, not the bottom 20 total, but like towards the bottom of the 25 at the end of the year, are just completely gone, like Notre Dame and Oregon, which again, like I said, but that's why they do it. It's about narratives, and that's why ESPN and them.
They hyped Oregon back up to 25 this week.
Okay, whatever. They had to justify that Georgia number 2. I just realized I never explained what the coaches poll was. I got way ahead of myself. The coaches poll is exactly what it sounds like. It's coaches. Like, all the coaches get a vote, and they vote who's number 1. So, like, from the public perception, AP is like the most trusted, but from like people who know, the coaches is kind of more trusted, because it's like, who do you trust, journalists or coaches?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the coaches.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy choice. So that was not the only upset of the weekend, and this one, when you said this in Discord, I almost didn't believe you at first. When you said
this one was wild.
When you said Marshall's beating Notre Dame, and I went, in basketball, baseball, volleyball, like what sport are we talking about? Like, no, football, college football. I went, oh, okay. Now Notre Dame, of course, had that big game last week against Ohio State. Just barely lost, but we all went, in fact, I believe on this very show, I don't have it here in my notes, but I believe on this very show, I said, Marcus Freeman, I think he's got it. I think he's the guy in South Bend. I'm eating those words right now.
Sure are.
And I even, like, when I went back and watched the VOD, I was like, we kind of laughed. And then I was like, oh, Marshall, that's a cupcake. Yeah, okay, well.
It turns out the Thundering Herd is quite the Thundering Herd.
Now, did you watch this?
No.
Okay. Well, I didn't really watch it either.
I was watching the gamecast for it.
Yeah. By the time I started watching it, like, it was over, and like they'd like accepted their fate. And at that point, like, it was just trying to figure out, like, deconstruct what the fuck just happened. Now, Marshall, of course, is in the Sun Belt. Yeah, they're in the Sun Belt. They used to be Conference USA. They went with Southern Miss and whoever else to the Sun Belt this year. I just, like, I think people are going to be asking for a long time what the fuck happened here. Because how does Notre Dame lose to Marshall? I don't think Marshall has ever had like a huge upset in the past like 25 years like this. But
it wasn't even some massive come from behind upset. Like,
no,
Marshall had the lead going into the half.
Barely.
Yeah, barely 2-point lead.
Yeah, they had a 2-point lead looking like a fucking baseball score, 9-7 going into halftime. They come out, they put up a 20-yard field goal. Notre Dame strikes back. Marshall goes back with 2 more touchdowns. And then Notre Dame gets like a last-minute touchdown and goes for a failed 2-point conversion. Like, what? Of course, buried deep down here in the team stats is here's the reason. 3 turnovers by Notre Dame. 3.
One of which was a pick 6.
2 interceptions from T. Buckner. I forgot his whole name. Tyler, but I thought I was thinking Ty Buckner. I was like, no, I think it's just Tyler. Tyler, who I was shocked to find out is like, are they gonna? Yeah, he's like Asian.
That's not an Asian name.
No, well, it's not an Asian name, and Well, he's from San Diego, California, so most likely, like, I'm assuming he's probably
super Americanized Asian at this point.
Yeah, but I was gonna say like probably
Few
Japanese,
generations deep.
probably Japanese or Korean. Probably San Diego, of course, you know, from naval bases, and that's very common over there. Interestingly enough, Marcus Freeman, his coach, also half Asian, and I didn't know that until game day last week. He is half Korean on his mother's side, and I think it was the same deal too. I think his dad was a sailor, or no, he was in the army or something. Yeah, but anyway. You do not see an Asian quarterback a lot. That's a first one. I'm gonna say that's the first one. So,
yeah, big shout out to when they put Drew Pine in for a few plays and he immediately threw a pick.
Yeah, so that's where the 3 turnovers came from. Shockingly enough, like no fumbles. Tyler Buckner threw 2, and Drew Pine came in and he had 6 passes, connecting with 3 of them, and one of those was to a player. That's not how that's counted, I realize, but that's the joke. Just absolutely sloppy quarterback play. And like, here's the thing, like, how do we look at that? Do we look at that and just go like, okay, because we looked at them losing to Notre Dame and went, that was a noble battle. You did well. Or do we look at them, I think I just said lost Notre Dame, lost to Ohio State. Do we look at that then and go, oh, maybe both these teams suck now? And it was just kind of like a turd bowl. So.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to hype up Georgia and put Alabama down after the close game to Texas, I mean, Notre Dame lost to fucking Marshall and OSU barely beat them.
Yeah, of course, which, although I will say, I think this is the biggest like demotion I have ever seen on the AP poll, from number 8 to just unranked overnight. That's
very base.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you lose to Marshall. I didn't actually see, where was Tamu?
6.
24. Yeah, from 6 to 24. That's pretty rough. They list
shout
here.
Out the Sun Belt, though.
Shout out to the Sun Belt. Not shout out to, well, actually a little shout out to Southern. My alma mater, of course. They did lose 30-7 to Miami in Miami to a crowd of, I think, literally 15 people. Miami, of course, still of course, then again, it's like 89 and 105% humidity, but still.
If you're a fan, you'll be there. Let's be real.
They just don't have a lot of fans is the problem. The U is not really back. They had like one big game a couple of years ago and they sold out, but ever since then it's like a very small crowd. Southern actually took it into halftime 7-10. And one of those was like a big turnover that they capitalized on. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, do we have a ball game? No, we didn't. They were shut out in the second half. So is what it is. But Sun Belt is the fun belt. And in this house, that's what we believe. So.
Yeah, I mean, App State is also in the Sun Belts, both Marshall and App State with the big Sun Belt.
I want to say even last week we said that, like, the Sun Belt's kind of looking like the AAC did.
Oh, and I guess Georgia Southern is also in the Sun Belt. They dropped the nuts in Nebraska. So
Sun Belt is Fun Belt. So we love to see it. That BYU Baylor game was a little bit of a snore fest. I thought that would have been way more interesting than it was. I think you actually, like, you just straight up went to bed on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. It went into overtime, and they combined missed like 4 field goals. It was a shit show. BYU eventually won it somehow. 2026. I never believed in Baylor. So USC completely blew Stanford out. Big shocker. Okie State. This Kentucky-Florida game, though, was kind of a barn burner, huh?
It sure was.
Now, you did watch that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really good. And I liked what they were saying afterwards. It was like the narrative that, like, Kentucky can't beat Florida. Like, well, apparently they can. Bob Stoops beat Bear Bryant's old record for most wins for a head coach in Kentucky, which is That's huge.
Base.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. When, like, okay, it's like, okay, he beat Bear Bryant's record at Kentucky. And it's like, right, it's still Bear Bryant's record though, and that's like,
right.
Yeah. So, what were my notes on this one? Florida was a favorite by a little bit over a field goal. Over under was 51. I said this one go either way. I did take the under, which I was right. Holy shit, I was actually right on one. Let's go. You questioned me on that. You actually questioned me on the under because these two teams.
Yeah, well, I think they were both high scoring.
They
teams
were,
previously,
yeah.
So.
But I'll tell you what, like, UK had a turnover, Florida had 2. This was just a really sloppy game. Like,
really bad quarterback play from both
really
teams.
bad quarterback play. Let me actually pull up the stats. It just, like, if you had like blanked out the colors and the logos of this game and you would have asked, like, name one of the teams playing here, I would have gone Florida, because it just felt like a Florida. Oh god, Jesus
Florida's quarterback had a QBR of 3.8.
I'm just looking at this. Oh my god. Will Levis for Kentucky, 13 for 24, 202 yards, not bad, a TD and an int, not bad, not the worst I've ever seen. Anthony Richardson, 14 for 35 for a measly 143 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for, as he said, a QBR of 3.8. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Interestingly,
that's about as low as it gets.
That can't get much worse. I'm actually looking. I'm not going to try and pronounce his brother's name. Kavosi Smoke, 14 carries for 80 yards. He was really good. Like, he was just trucking dudes. Will Levis, though, not so much. He had to carry it 7 times for a grand total of negative 12 yards.
That's you probably should give up on running the rock.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, just throw it away.
Oh, well, I guess that's actually the quarterback. So.
That is the yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, so he can't. He kind of can throw, can't run. I mean, a lot of that's just getting sacked. It was sloppy. It was just sloppy. Like, that's the exact word I would use to describe it. It felt like a Florida game. Like, Florida just has like a feel, and it felt like it. Arkansas, South Carolina, 44-30. This was a pretty good game. Arkansas is a little bit for real. Like, Pittman's got a really decent program over there in Fayetteville, like, really decent. I mentioned with Alabama last year, you know, they gave Alabama a bunch of trouble. It looked like there for a while Alabama was going to lose. Arkansas is right now the second best team in the SEC West. And I don't think anyone, like, it's Alabama, it's them, and then just throw the rest in there somehow. It doesn't really matter because TAMU sucks. LSU sucks. State's okay. They haven't played anyone yet. They went out to, was it Arizona State? No, Arizona, and blew them out. That was a boring ass game. Pac-12 after dark this season has disappointed heavily.
Hate to see. Going to count out Auburn with that after they barely beat San Jose State.
Who?
Auburn.
Oh, that Cal College. Yeah. No. We don't talk about them. I did say, circle back to the Kentucky-Florida game. I did say slam the over on that. Oh, that was the rest of the notes. It's like, oh, no, I was wrong. I said I took the under, which I did. Then you questioned it, and then I went, no, okay, all right, slam the over. Because that was the thing. I was like, oh, these two teams have scored like 60 points themselves. Yeah.
Florida went and fucked on the high-ranked Utah.
Yeah. So, again, this is why we don't do preseason polls. You blow out number 6, and then you lose to Kentucky. So, you know, we don't listen to preseason polls. Yeah, Arkansas, definitely for real. They were a TD favorite, and I said they would cover, which they did. So, shout out to me with the, like, 40% accurate betting advice. Let's fucking go.
Very base.
Yeah, a little bit. South Carolina just like perennially sucks. Like, so who cares?
I mean, also fuck Spence Rattlers.
Wow, read my mind, man. That was exactly what I was about to say. Fuck Spencer Rattler. Let's look at his stats. Let's look at his stats to really get a good laugh at him. They're not terrible. Oh, sorry. That's because I was looking at the KJ Jefferson. Sorry, let's go over here. Oh, wait, they are terrible. 24 for 39, 376 yards, though. That's not bad. That's not bad. One TD.
I mean, that's a lot of yards.
That's a lot of yards for a TD, for just one TD and an interception, though. So, KJ Jefferson, 18 for 21. Hello. Not bad. Of course, they kept most of this on the ground. You see Raheem Sanders, 24 touches for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's fucking go.
Very impressive.
Yeah, they had 5 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty good, actually. So yeah, and actually, the second top rusher was the quarterback. So you love to see it. You really do. What you also love to see is that for 12 carries, Spencer Rattler got a grand total of 23 yards. Just kidding, negative 23 yards. So
very impressive running there.
In this house, we do not respect Spencer Rattler. Fuck him. I am ready. Like, at this point, he has like no NFL prospects. Maybe he's going to get a call from the USFL, maybe the XFL. But realistically, this guy is going to be like, I don't know, insurance salesman, used car. What are we feeling here?
I feel like insurance salesman is where they usually go, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's usually a good one. Maybe like, fucking that. Maybe consulting. Or maybe he gets real lucky and he gets like, you know, an OC position at like Colorado School of Mines or something. Yeah, no, somewhere where he belongs the fuck away from, you know, television.
Right.
Speaking of television, Tennessee went into Pitt and kind of dabbed on him a little bit. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they barely won, but we take wins anyway.
I mean, Pitt's a decent team. Pitt, of course, beat West Virginia in the backyard brawl last Thursday night. What were my notes on this one? They were,
this was another case of where the Vols beat the shit out of their starting quarterback and would have been a pretty different game if they were in the whole time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, wait. It wasn't...
And actually, I said Card was limping early, but I think I actually confused that with this game where their backup Nick Patty was limping for most of the second half.
Oh, okay. Well, that does, for reference, that doesn't take away from Card's grit. He's still a dog.
No, it does not.
He's still a dog. Nick Patty, however, is also kind of a dog. He's not great, but we still respect him. But
he, considering how he literally couldn't move for like the last few of his drives, you know, decent job.
I said I loved Tennessee being the favorite in this, which, you know, yeah. 65 over under. I didn't feel it. I called the over. I can't do math, but that is not 65. I don't think
it is not. No.
So
it is 61.
There you go. So we got that one again. My QBR for betting is going up very slowly. I'm seeing Keaton Slovis though. You said he went out 14 for 24 for almost 200 yards, a touchdown and an int. When did he get hurt?
I want to say it was sometime in the first half.
Okay. Well, he was slinging that thing, and I would have liked to seen if he'd stayed healthy because he's pretty decent. What was his injury?
The Vols hit him with a very, I want to say he got sacked and where the defenders kind of lifted it up and placed him down on his head heavily.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, they didn't call a penalty on it, so
no
you
shit.
very much can do that.
Mm.
Like, it was kind of he just kind of swung him to the ground and slammed his head into the ground with a sack. And
that's dirty, man. That's dirty.
Yeah, it wasn't called dirty, so we love to see it.
Hey, man, you know, the ref is the final word. They don't put asterisks next to him. Hendon Hooker, I love that this dude just slangs that shit. 27 for 42. My dude was just slanging that shit. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Not bad. And he was running.
It wasn't much of a rushing game. So
well, yeah, 15. Actually, he had the most touches of any of the rushers. 15, 27 yards.
It was pretty much all on the man.
Yeah, that's not bad. 2 touchdowns from Jabari Small, though. That's not bad. It looks like that was kind of just red zone plays, though. But you said last week, it's like, hey, I'm here in Tennessee now. They're going to win. And they ain't lost yet. They ain't lost yet. So do I believe? I might believe. So.
Well, they do play Alabama eventually, and I think you're not going to believe then. But
well, no, of course not. 3rd Saturday in October. You know, we don't. Let's look at let's go ahead and look at their schedule. So they got Akron at home next week.
That should be an easy game.
They have Florida at home. Holy shit. That's going to be a football game. But I kind of feel Tennessee on that one, to be quite honest. Tennessee's feels like a more complete team versus Florida. So they got LSU at Death Valley, and then they have to. Well, Alabama's coming into Neyland, so we'll talk about that when he gets closer. I don't want to, it's too early. Washington State was another upset against Wisconsin, number 19. But to be quite, I'm gonna be real with you. Like when someone outside the top 10 loses, I don't consider an upset because I don't really care.
Yeah, it's also the Wisconsin Badgers. Like,
yeah. Ole Miss blew out Central Arkansas. Wake Forest won the, as it was so eloquently called, the Brooks Brothers Bowl against Vanderbilt. Shocker. Here was another slight. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Upset. Texas Tech beat Houston 33-30, where almost a majority of the points were scored in overtime. So that's funny. Man, talking about slang and shit, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, 5 turnovers between the two teams. Yeah, no, that's a dirty game right there. Yeah, here it was.
Very base.
Donovan Smith, quarterback for Texas Tech, which in Texas Tech, tradition, Kyler Murray is from there, of course. Donovan Smith, 36 for 58 for 351 yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Dude was slanging.
So you just say Kyler Murray was from Texas Tech?
Wasn't he? No, he's from Oklahoma.
No, that was Mahomes.
Mahomes. I get those two mixed up.
Yeah, we went over last week.
Yeah, and
we'll get it eventually.
Maybe. I don't know. Reading the receiver core right here is just essentially the whole fucking team. These are some names here, by the way. Nehemiah Martinez the first, Jerand Bradley. What?
Loic Fuoniji.
I was going to skip over that one because I didn't even. So Roderick Thompson. And then there's literally a brother here named Baylor. So, hey.
How about JJ Spark?
JJ Sparkman. That's not a real. That's someone hacked ESPN. That's not a real person. That can't be a real person. Oh, it's a real person. They got a picture of him and everything. Wow. 6'4", 220. Jesus Christ. That's a boy right there. All right, okay, JJ Sparkman. We love JJ Sparkman in this house, I guess. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the interesting shit for college.
Hold on, there's one more game.
What did I miss?
Well, 2 shout-outs. One was Eastern Kentucky Bowling Green going to 7 overtime.
How do you go to 7 overtimes in the new rules?
They went to 7 overtime.
I like that they changed the rules to prevent that, and then it happened again. Who was that you said? Bowling Green?
Bowling Green, Eastern Kentucky.
Jesus Christ.
59-57.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I want to look at the stats on this one. Holy shit. Parker McKinney, 33 for 47. Not bad. 324 yards and 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Matt McDonald, this dude didn't really sling it that much. 23 for 40 for 283 yards, 5 touchdowns. Holy shit.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. Can I get... Oh, yeah, here's the... Jesus Christ. So I like this is like the game, right? So there's a little section for the game, and then an equally sized section is just for the overtimes. Jesus Christ. That is nuts. The over-under for that was 57. Bowling Green got that on their own.
Yeah.
Jesus. What a football game. All right, what was your other one?
And then the other one was Kansas, West Virginia, where Kansas won 55-42 in overtime. Nice 13-point win in overtime.
Wait, Kansas beat West Virginia?
Yeah.
Oof. That's I don't know. I don't know what the takeaway from that is, to be quite honest.
Game went to overtime. Kansas scored the touchdown on their first possession and then pick 6 the next possession.
Jesus.
Which, usually it ends on like possession change, so you don't really see a 13-point win in overtime.
No, you don't. So, pretty good week though. That like a lot of upsets. We're already like week 2, and it's already just like complete chaos. So, like at this point, nothing is for certain anymore. I'm not going to for sure say anything. I'm not going to look at any lines or anything and go, oh yeah, I feel that. But that's exactly what I'm about to do. So we'll go in order here. Number 1, Georgia playing South Carolina at South Carolina. Georgia is a 24-point favorite. Yeah, probably. After how South Carolina played against Arkansas. I say this, talking about the AccuWeather, you feeling good about these lowering temperatures though.
Ooh, nice 77.
Look at this, 62 in Oregon. Let's go. Okay. UConn's coming into the big house in Michigan. Blowout. Maybe. Who knows? Now this one just got a lot more awkward. Oklahoma's coming into Nebraska. OU almost a 2-touchdown favorite, a over-under of 65. Man, we just don't know how to feel about that one, do we?
Nebraska head coach right now, so. Yeah,
Nebraska has no head coach. Oklahoma's Oklahoma. I believe. Oh God, it's a morning game. I believe I saw game day is going to be in Lincoln for that, so that's a little awkward. So. I'm sure someone like at the beginning of the season marked that down and went like, this is going to be a marquee game. And then 2 weeks in, it's like, oh, well, fuck. All right, whatever. Kentucky playing Youngstown. Oh, who fucking cares? Baylor playing. Who cares about that? BYU has another top 25 matchup. RIP. They will be playing number 25 Oregon. Oregon is a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, notably, Oregon did put up 70 last week against whatever EWU is.
Eastern Washington. I'm gonna go Oregon on this. Yeah. I don't have any faith in Bo Nix, of course. However, after watching BYU and Baylor scramble around like 2 drunken teenagers over each other, Oregon definitely looks like a more so they did get shut out by Georgia, but in getting shut out, they at least kind of looked like a functioning team. BYU didn't. So I'm taking Oregon on that, actually. Ole Miss is going into Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. They're a 2-touchdown favorite. Why not? Georgia Tech sucks. Penn State coming down to the plains of Alabama to play Auburn. They are a field goal favorite, and it's even year Auburn, but it is a chaos year, so
who knows?
I'm taking Auburn, actually. 78 degrees for a 2:30 kickoff on CBS. A little da 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 da. Gonna love to hear that. Not gonna love to hear Gary Danielson, but is what it is. Like I said, 78 degrees at kickoff at 2:30 in
very nice
southeastern-ish Alabama. Yeah, not bad. I don't like this, though. For some reason, 30 minutes later, just on the other side of the state, is going to be 88 fucking degrees when Alabama welcomes UL Monroe and allegedly blows them out by 50 points. But maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll see who catches the ball, blow it to happen.
That's a great question. That's a great point. You have to catch balls to blow people out, so whatever. Wake Forest, Liberty, who cares? Ohio State, Toledo, who cares? Yeah, but I'm seeing a bunch of cupcakes here. Tennessee's welcoming Akron in. Who the fuck cares?
Oh boy,
right. NC State welcoming Texas Tech. NC State a 9-point favorite. That one could really go either way. I know it says they're a 9-point favorite, but we'll see. We'll see. Texas Tech, obviously, as we just said, doing pretty decent. They're slinging that shit.
Some say Texas Tech is being disrespected by not being at 25.
I would agree. From what I've seen from them and the current number 25, Oregon, I'd put Texas Tech there. Most certainly, 100%. Michigan State ranked at 11. Okay, this is fucking disrespectful. So the big ABC night game is Michigan State at Washington. Michigan State, number 11, down a field goal favorite to Washington, or to favorite Washington.
Oh, wow.
A little fucking disrespectful, in my opinion. I think Michigan State plays with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I'm taking Michigan on that one. Florida playing South Florida, 24-point favorite. Maybe. Who knows? Could be. Pitt playing Western Michigan. They're only an 11-point favorite for some reason.
Maybe Slovis is out for the week. I don't know.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Louisiana. Who fucking cares? Here we go. 8 o'clock on ESPN. Miami's coming into College Station. After their embarrassing loss to App State, I think they're playing angry. They are a 2 field goal favorite. I take TAMU on that. 47 over under. I'm saying under. San Diego State's going to play Utah. Who fuck cares? And Fresno State, who apparently is either good or Auburn just really fucking sucks, playing USC, who's only a 12-point favorite. Over under of 71. Holy shit. Sure, why not? And that is college football. One of the better weekends that I've watched in a while, even though I didn't actually watch that much. I had other stuff to work on, and after
you were very close to not watching any of it.
Yeah, no, I did. I 100% said that. I posted in Discord. I was like, if they lose, I'm done. I'm just turning it all off. I'm just gonna go pray or something. But yeah, I didn't really watch that much. I wasn't try screening. Just when Alabama is that close, when it's that close, it just sucks the will out of me. And at that point, I'm just like, all right, I'll have it on the background. So, but it kind of feels good though. It kind of feels good. Because for so long, Alabama would just donkey dick everyone, just everyone. And it was big game. Are they going to win? Who knows? Oh, wow, they won. But lately, there was a long time where Alabama just pulled out so far ahead of literally everyone else in college football. And the field lagged behind a little bit, but they've caught up. And I want to say, people were worried about NIL, and it's oh, this is going to fuck with the parity of college football. I don't think so. I think we have the most parity we've ever had. Marshall's beating Notre Dame. App State's beating TAMU at TAMU. I think we've got parity. And yeah, I think we've got parity. Texas might actually be back. Arkansas certainly, I was going to say back, but Arkansas was never there to begin with. So that makes it even crazier. Arkansas's there. That's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. College football right now is absolutely fucking nuts. And there was one piece of news that made it even more nuts that I didn't touch on. Pat McAfee joined Game Day full time. And when I read that, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. He's going to be whatever. No, he's full time at the desk. Yeah, like he's there for the picks. I love it. The old desk had kind of gotten a little old. Like Desmond Howard, like cool, whatever. I'm gonna say Chris Fowler, the other Chris Fowler. Okay, cool, you're there. Coach, we love Coach, and then Kirk Herbstreit's, whatever. He's definitely a welcome change to the desk. So, yeah. This is a great, like, this just, I already feel it. Like, I think I said last week, or maybe in week 0, I said, this really, for the first time in 2 years, feels like college football's back. And, I mean, that was a little, seeing into the future, because it really, really does. It really, really feels like college football is all the fucking way back. It just, you get that feeling that I haven't had in 2 years where it's just like, I'm just ready. And it feels great. So,
sure does.
That was Saturday, though. And it didn't end there. Of course, I guess it didn't start there either, because Thursday.
Yeah, we gotta go back to Thursday.
We gotta go back to Thursday.
Rams.
That was a great game. It really was.
Sure was.
So that in the first half, I mean, I'm gonna let you take over here, but I'm just gonna give my thought. The first half, I was like, holy shit, this might be a ball game, because we went into halftime tied. Rams caught up, put 10 points on the board, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is a ball game. But then they got shut out. So the Bills, just you take over and we'll talk about it.
Bills, current Super Bowl favorites, marching into the defending Super Bowl champs' home. Starting off their first drive, I mean, the Bills looked absolutely disgusting, as they were expected to. And then the Rams, admittedly, have a very good defense, kind of slowed them down for a bit going into the half. But the real problem that got exposed for the Rams is their only offense is Matt Stafford to Cooper Kupp. And when that's not happening, they don't go anywhere with the ball. They can't run the ball. They have one guy to throw it to. I mean, they had OBJ last year and Odell Beckham Jr., those not versed. And he was really the secondary threat that made this offense go. He got hurt in the Super Bowl and didn't re-sign him. So now they're looking at some pretty questionable offensive calling here.
Yeah, it's a very one-dimensional team.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the big... I think what really kept the game close to start was Josh Allen had a few turnover issues.
Oh yeah, I mean it was embarrassing almost. Like 4 turnovers just from Buffalo. Rams put up 3 of their own, but I mean he just kept throwing picks, and I remember saying it's like the only reason they're not getting absolutely destroyed right now is that the Rams just could not capitalize at all.
Right. So one of those picks, not Josh Allen's fault, bounced like out of the receiver's hands. That's totally on the receiver.
Yeah.
Second one, I'd like to say was more of just a fantastic play by the defense, more than being Josh Allen's throw.
Mm-hmm.
And a few fumbles as well. Wasn't really beautiful, but
no.
I mean, once they came out in the second half, they just dog walked the Rams.
They did. They certainly did. Shut them out completely. So.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen, 26 for 31 with, 2 of his incompletes being interceptions. And he still threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran a touchdown in himself. He was the team's leading rusher.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at that. I was like, that looked like fucking Bryce Young last week.
And then on the other hand, you have Matt Stafford, who came into the game saying his elbow that just had a surgery not too long ago felt better than ever, and 29-41, 1 TD and 3 interceptions. I don't know that it's actually feeling better than ever. Although, admittedly, the Bills' defense is one of the best in the league as well. So, And Thursday, pretty great. But then Sunday, the highlight of Sunday to me was terrible kicking and a fuck ton of turnovers.
A lot of doinks, including from my Saints, who, oof.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with some of the less close games that not super interesting. Like Ravens, Jets, 24-9. Ravens expected to beat the shit out of them. They beat the shit out of them. Though it was super pretty to start, the Ravens offense really struggled to get going for really the whole first half. But then they came out, scored some touchdowns. I mean, they just have fucking Joe Flacco at QB. Like, you gotta expect out of them.
I don't know why he's even still in the league, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he got lucky being a backup that got to start an NFL game again. So
yeah.
And I mean, the score was 24-9, and 6 of those 9 points came at like a 1 minute left in the game touchdown. The Ravens like don't even care at this point, kind of touchdown.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, Lamar honestly didn't look great. 17 for 30, about 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, decent passing, 1 interception. But on the rushing side, I mean, that's what makes Lamar Jackson. His legs. He only had 17 yards rushing, which against the Jets.
That's common. Is he hurt or just?
No, he's not.
Huh.
It's kind of what's going on here.
That sounds like that just sounds like bad play calling at that point.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they got the win.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a little bit of the beef on him not getting his contract done. That's still like in his mind. Some
maybe that's actually probable.
Yeah. Which rumor had it he was offered like a $300 million 6-year contract,
Christ.
But it only had like 130 million guaranteed, which he's up to get like 111, I believe the number is, million guaranteed over the next 3 years. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense for him to sign a contract where he's only getting an extra 20 million guaranteed for 3 more years of play.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, but for 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah, it's not at a high level quarterback play in the NFL.
It's a little insulting, actually.
Yeah. So then moving on to Pat's Dolphins. I know this one hits hard for you because Mac Jones and Tua. But the Dolphins...
Which I will say, though, an update on that, though, is they did x-rays. Nothing looked wrong structurally. So he could be back next week. So
you love to hear that. So, I mean, Dolphins look dominant in this game. It's the whole time. I mean, went into the halftime, completely shutting out the Pats. I guess their offense slowed down a bit in the second half, but those offseason pickups for the Dolphins definitely helped out a lot. 23 of 33, 270 yards, only 1 TD, but...
How many Alabama players were in this game?
A lot.
Damian Harris, Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle. That's just on the offensive side. Jeez.
Yeah, Tua had a beautiful 42-yard touchdown to Jalen Waddle on the 4th and 7.
You love to see it.
Not even going for the conversion, just going straight for the long ball touchdown.
You
Big
love to see it.
Absolutely.
I love that Tua's doing good.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he has definitely been in a really bad situation the past 2 years. So nice to see the team finally rallying behind him and giving him a proper shot. And
yeah, I was about to say, like, it felt in those first 2 years like the front office like didn't even want him, and they were just doing.
No, I mean,
go ahead.
His rookie year, I think it was, where they would just have him start, and then whenever it started to matter, they'd pull him out and put fucking Fitzpatrick in.
Yeah,
it's like how do you show that you don't trust your quarterback at all more than doing that? Which, I mean, hey, Miami, they might make the playoffs this year. I think if the Bills weren't so disgustingly good, they'd have a good shot at the division, but unless some catastrophe happens on the Bills, I don't think they have a shot at winning.
We kind of glossed over it when we were talking about the Rams. That got lost a little bit in translation. Like, yes, the Bills beat the Rams, but they beat the shit out of the Rams.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of the Rams.
That looked like it almost... in fact, I think I want to say this when the game was on. I was like, this looked like a college game where one team just absolutely donkey-dicked the other. You know, in just a disgust. The Rams... I'm going to say something controversial. The Rams at the end of the year, we could be having one of those conversations like we put them up there with like Miami and Steelers of old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Rams' number 2 defense at the end of last year, so
Yeah.
it's not like they were dog walking the worst defense in the league. They were
No.
shitting on Aaron Donald. And
Yeah. Yeah. So disgusting.
yeah, but not a lot from the maybe some big red flags in Patriots land. Like what's going on there?
I mean, it's
I mean,
kind of the same
their
problems as
offense
last year.
was abysmal.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. It's one of those things where like losing Tom Brady, like it's one of those things where I think maybe in some people's minds are like, okay, we just got to replace a quarterback. You don't just replace Tom Brady, right?
Yeah,
Tom
so
Brady,
much that came with Tom.
I mean, exactly. And you saw that tonight, which we'll get to, but like he was the Patriots. They're looking at least a half-decade rebuild. Now, of all the people to bring them through that, I think Belichick is the best of them because he definitely has like that long-term vision to not do what some teams like, you know, the Browns have done in the past, where it's just like, if it doesn't work within like half a season, you know, they change. I trust Belichick, but yes, you're absolutely right. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for a while.
Plus, like, no one really wants to go to fucking Boston or wherever the fuck these guys play.
Where isn't they play?
It's somewhere in
technically
Massachusetts.
Boston, but
it's like no one wants to go up to the fucking cold ass shitty Northeast to play when you don't have Tom Brady slinging the rock anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like they. And the thing is, I mean, I love Mac Jones, but he doesn't have like he's like the style of player that Tom Brady is, like an on the field general game manager. I know that's an insult, but it's not when you have like so many rings you can't open the door to a Hardee's. Like that's a good thing. The problem is he just doesn't have that air yet. Now, again, Tom Brady didn't have that air when he was his age. So that's just, again, that's a 5, 6, 7 year thing that just kind of has to develop. And I hope they give him the time.
All right, so moving into our first kind of spicy game of the early set, 49ers Bears. Now, 49ers were touchdown favorites in this game. Now, very wet game. Rain was pouring the whole time. Chicago kind of beat the shit out of them 19-10.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get real loud in San Francisco with Jimmy G still sitting as the backup.
I mean, I'm looking at this.
Trey Lance looked bad.
13 for 28, 164 yards, and an intercept. That's dog shit.
It is. Now, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that it was pouring rain, so shit's extra wet.
Sure.
And George Kittle, his tight end, that's one of the best tight ends in the league, was out, but still.
Which is showing he was the leading rusher. Trey Lance. Sorry, Trey Lance was the leading rusher.
He was. There was not. Oh, Elijah Mitchell was doing numbers, and then he got hurt mid-game. So I think he would have been their leading rusher. But
all right, we give him the benefit of the doubt on that then.
But yeah, not a great showing from the 49ers, who were pretty high on people's expectations, despite Trey Lance being a completely unproven quarterback and clearly showing he's not great. Although on the Bears side, Justin Fields also a second-year quarterback now. Not great himself either.
I want to say this, Trey Lance, kind of a goofy-looking dude, too. Like, what's going on with that hairdo? I don't know.
He lives in California. What do you think?
Solid point. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, 8 for 17. I mean, clearly didn't throw the ball much.
Yeah.
121 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interception. You take it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they pulled out the win in the end. The main takeaway from this game is that, well, the Niners have a real problem brewing. And with Jimmy G, who's taken them to deep in the playoffs in the Super Bowl multiple times, it's going to get loud real fast. All right, and then moving on to our highest point-wise game of the week, Eagles-Lions. And
This
was a pretty enjoyable game to watch. It sure does, and it sure felt like one too.
Oh, my boy Jalen. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, this game, the Eagles felt control in basically the whole game. I mean, the Lions almost got back in the game, only win by 3, but they never really had a chance.
Jalen was doing some work on the ground. Damn.
That's basically our Eagles offense on the ground.
Yeah, him and Miles Sanders.
Which, yeah, I mean, 18 for 32. I mean, 43 yards bad. Jalen to AJ Brown, their pickup from the Titans, and during the draft, actually. I mean, 10 catches, 155 yards.
That's
there's
crazy.
Some chemistry there, and they get that going. They'll have some good air offense going, but right now, all their touchdowns are on the ground. I mean, if it works, it works. And NFC East is a bit open division, so. Also, the Lions, for being the Lions, put up a very good fight. Jared Goff, not amazing. I mean, he's what you expect out of Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Big shout out to DeAndre Swift, though, the running back for Lions. 15 carries for 144 yards.
That's actually pretty nuts.
It is pretty nuts. That's a lot.
Of course, you got a breakaway for 50 yards on one run, so.
Yeah, but I mean, even without that,
sure.
It's still like 100 yards and 14 carries. Not too bad. But yeah, I mean, Lions fans, they lost, but putting up 35 points is like half a season of points for the Lions normal, so they got to be happy about that.
Fucked up, but true.
All right, moving on to the shit fest that was Jags Commanders.
Oh Jesus!
I mean, these two teams. It was a competitive game, but on God, these are the two of the worst teams in the league right now.
I'll say though, Carson Wentz kind of went apeshit though.
Now that's just how Carson Wentz is. He goes apeshit all the time, and then throws picks to make it a close game.
I don't think he threw any in this game today.
2 interceptions, actually.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
And that's the reason it was a close game.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, he had 2 picks in the second half, both leading to points for the Jags to actually put the Jags in the lead. And when the Jags had a chance to win it all, T-Law threw his only interception of the game to lose it.
Oh, you hate to see that.
Absolutely hate to see it last, because I like Trevor Lawrence.
He's all right, yeah.
But the Jags, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
And they've been the first overall pick 2 years in a row, and I don't know. I don't know about that team.
Yeah, I don't either. That's another one where it's it's you've been rebuilding for a while, and you don't really have a lot to show for it yet.
Yeah, they kind of cursed their team when they decided to go into a rebuild after losing the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
Pretty bold move, great. And it clearly hasn't paid off.
Not great. Yeah, not great.
Yeah, not a ton to take away from this game outside of Carson Wentz is still playing Carson Wentz football, which is electric to watch.
Oh, yeah, no, great.
If you're a fan of the team he's the quarterback for, every game's basically a roller coaster ride, because at any moment he'll just decide, no, I am going to make this play and throw the ball directly into the hands of the defense.
Yeah, if you're a masochist, maybe consider becoming a Commanders fan.
You know what? We call them Redskins in this house.
That's right. Yeah, sorry.
So moving on to the Panthers-Browns game, Baker Mayfield against his old team, the Browns. Into this game, he was going to fuck them up. Well, clearly he did not fuck them up.
No, he didn't.
And he didn't even look that good in this game.
He did, and I thought that when I was watching highlights, even just watching him run, it's like it's like he's questioning himself or something. Like the first couple of like strides of his run are like, am I doing this?
Like, I really don't know what happened to Panthers team, considering it's like the best on paper, the best Panther team they've had in years.
Yeah.
And like Christian McCaffrey, 10 carries for 33 yards. Like,
That's
I don't know if they
that's
told
ridiculous.
him to. I don't know if they told this man not run properly anymore, but a healthy Christian McCaffrey runs for like multiple 100 yards and multiple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at the break, the Panthers didn't really have offense until the last quarter.
Yeah. they woke up a little bit, but maybe do we mark this up to like maybe just like team chemistry? Like maybe they just don't feel each other yet.
I mean, maybe, but I feel like usually when a quarterback goes in like pissed, ready for revenge, they usually show up.
Yeah, that's true.
Baker definitely did not show up.
But maybe that's kind of my thing, though. Like maybe I just think maybe because Baker, as we said, is like he's kind of a weird dude. He's a little bit of an awkward dude, and
he is.
You don't want your quarterback to be kind of an awkward dude. He just like I don't even know how old he is, but he just always strikes me as like eternally like 20, right?
I think he's like around 30, maybe.
Yeah, he got up there and he said, "I'm gonna fuck you up," but the rest of his teammates kind of went like, well, "We don't really have a dog in this fight, so we're just gonna go play ball." Whereas, like, if Tom Brady got out there and said, like, "We're gonna fuck you up," like they would be doing like fucking war chants. Like their houses would be on fire, literally, because the players would have gone out that night and burned them down. Like he just doesn't command the field and he doesn't command the locker room. And otherwise he's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback, in fact. But if he could figure out how to be a leader, he could be a legendary quarterback. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, the big highlight in this game was the Browns' rushing offense. Jacoby Brissett is clearly not the guy, and they have to survive 11 weeks until they get Deshaun Watson back, and who knows how he'll be. But Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt combined, pretty dirty rushing offense.
Wait, did you say Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Is he playing running back now?
No, I was saying until they get him back so they can like have a proper passing game. They have to rely heavily on the run game.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Which, 217 yards running offense, only 147 in the air. You can see where they're going for the year. So when teams decide to hammer to the front line, that team is going to come to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then moving on to the game you probably watched the most of, the Saints-Falcons game.
Yeah. Well, I had it on. I can say that much.
This was some classic Falcons football. They were absolutely dominant, really, the first three quarters.
Yep.
And then just fell apart.
16-point lead, actually. Thanks for asking, is what they blew. A 16-point lead.
Classic.
It could not get more classic. It really couldn't.
Especially because up until, I want to say, about the fourth quarter, the Saints quarterback, Jameis Winston, looked absolutely terrible. He was like 5 for 15 with like 40 yards total.
Yeah,
And then he ended the game 23-34. 270 yards.
I don't know if like someone just like went along the bench sometime just before the fourth quarter and like just started threatening them, was just like whispering in their ears like, "Hey, I have your family kidnapped. Start playing better." Because 10 points whole game, 17 in the fourth quarter. Just absolutely were like, "Oh, right, we're playing football." Which, by the way, if you're a Saints fan, we just call that Sunday. Right? That's just how it is. I remember the 2019 opening game, the Saints, I turned the game off because I was like, I can't fucking watch this shit. They won it. That's just what the Saints do. Like the Saints You know, they are, if, you know, we're talking about Carson Wentz raising your heart rate. The Saints are if Carson Wentz was a football team. Just the whole fucking depth chart. Are they going to win? Are they going to lose? We don't know until the game is over because it just stats with the who fucking cares about stats? We're just going to go play football and find out what happens. I will say this. I'm looking at the stats right now, and you don't know how good it feels to see the name Mark Ingram again on the stats. It feels he's back where he belongs. Had that little stint up in Baltimore for a while. Did good. But he's back where he belongs right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do much this game for sure.
Sure, but I just like seeing his name there. I will say,
big shout out to
Go
Tyrann Mathieu back in Louisiana. He recovered a fumble for the Saints.
Hey, really not far from home neither. I said this, like, Jameis, yeah, he woke up, he figured it out, but like Jameis's problem always, even in college, was kind of consistency. It's just in college, like, he got bailed out a lot because he had a really good receiver, really good running backs. Saints need someone more consistent, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get ahead of the curve. I think next year they need to tank and get Bryce.
Very bold.
Yeah. Why? Because I want Bryce in New Orleans. That's it. That's my entire reasoning. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons need a new quarterback as well. I mean, Marcus Mariota, not terrible. Didn't throw for a single touchdown.
I would scream. I would just stop watching NFL if a highlight, like, marquee Bama quarterback went to the Falcons. I'd just stop watching NFL. I couldn't. My heart couldn't do that.
That bad?
That bad.
And what really lost this game for the Falcons is, well, 3rd and 1, Mariota fumbled the ball.
Sure.
The game on the line. Hate to see that.
No, you love
4th and 1. 4th and 1, very convertible. 1 minute 40 left. You win the game if you convert that. No, they get a fucking delay of game penalty of all things. And they end up punting it.
Very on brand.
5 plays later, the Saints score a field goal to go ahead.
Was it the Falcons were the ones that, like, kicked a field goal on 3rd down? Who was that?
When?
Today, I think it was today. I thought it may have been tomorrow. Yesterday.
No, that was so that would have been in the Bengals Steelers game in overtime, which.
Oh right, yeah.
It makes sense in overtime to do it.
Sure.
In theory, it makes sense.
I don't know why I thought it was this game, but whatever.
No, if you kick a field goal on 3rd down in, like, regulation, you got problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Saints pull away just barely with a win. Some love to see that. Falcons fans are, I guess, used to the usual.
Yeah, they don't even get angry anymore. They just kind of shrug and go, yeah.
It's going to be another one of those.
It is what it is.
So moving on to our first overtime game of the day, Colts-Texans ended in a tie even.
Oh, so we did get a first week tie.
We did get a tie, yeah.
You know, that's what's crazy. I said this a couple of years ago. Like, there was a stretch there for, like, you would get a tie like once every 6-7 years or something. Now we get like once a month, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like NFL teams are a lot more evenly balanced these days. Yeah. I mean, there's a few super outliers, but
yeah. Well, there was.
So this game did not go how I think literally anyone except maybe like the Texans teams themselves expected it to go, because the Colts were heavy favorites in this one, like touchdown favorite, and I think even that was kind of putting it lightly for the expectations on the Colts, because lots of Pro Bowl players. They got Matt Ryan in as their quarterback now.
Matt Ryan slinging that shit, by the way.
He's slinging it, but I mean, he started slinging it really in the 4th quarter where they came back and tied it up. But throughout most of the game, the Texans were completely dominant. Fucking Davis Mills. 23 for 37, 240, and 2 touchdowns. Somehow beating the Colts defense, which is supposed to be extremely good.
And
the Colts had 517 yards of offense and scored 20 points. They ran the ball for just Jonathan Taylor alone had 161 yards of rushing, and they still couldn't beat apparently the incredible Texans defense.
Someone has to be shot for that. Like that's the only way that you make that right. Someone has to be shot for that legally.
Yeah. And then it goes to overtime. The Colts march down the field, miss a 42-yard field goal to win, or I guess to go ahead, and then nothing happened for the rest of overtime, and it tied up. And I guess this is why you don't draft a Georgia kicker.
Yeah, that's the takeaway from that.
Especially one that wears fucking goggle glasses.
Oh, him? Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
Which, I mean, all things considered, he's a pretty good kicker, but
he
missed it where it mattered.
What's his name?
Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah. I wanted to say Rodriguez. I was like, that's not it. Rodrigo Yeah. Yeah, he was really good in Georgia. He did have some comical errors. Not one. I can't think of like a specific one, but he had some really comical errors. So glad that he's kept that tradition up.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan just he did sling the ball with 352 yards, but I mean, he threw a pick. He fumbled 4 times, but only lost it once. He only lost it once, but still, you can't fumble the ball 4 fucking times.
No. Was it raining or something? What the hell?
It was lovely late summer day in Texas.
Well,
They just, I don't know, they couldn't figure it out.
Whatever.
And the Colts were heavy favorites to win the division this year, so not looking great for them. I guess they technically, despite tying, are on top of the AFC South because no one won today in the AFC South.
No one ever wins in the AFC South.
Yes, potentially the worst division in football right now, which you hate to see.
No, you kind of love to see it.
Now, probably the spiciest game of the day, Steelers-Bengals.
That was a good game.
Steelers won 23-20 in overtime. Joe Burrow and the Bengals coming off a Super Bowl loss. And oh my God, did Joe Burrow suffer?
Yeah. You could just see him on the sidelines. He just looked like he wanted to cry the whole time. Of course,
well, reports actually were he threw 4 interceptions and fumbled the ball. So 5 turnovers.
Jesus.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Because when he wasn't turning the ball over, the Bengals looked how they did at the end of last year. They looked very explosive and good on offense.
Right.
But it's hard to come back from 5 turnovers.
Yeah, and now you say you hate to see it, but then I remember him embarrassing us in front of President Trump at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and then I don't hate to see it anymore.
Oh, word.
I actually kind of love to see it a little bit. So
the a lot went on. The Bengals just completely fucked up the multiple chances they had to win this game. So at the end of the fourth quarter, they had a drive that ended a turnover on downs where pass to Jamar Chase was a touchdown. The refs called it not out of bounds of the 1. And all they had to do, the head coach just had to throw the challenge flag. It was a clear touchdown in the replays, but he didn't call it. They turn over on downs there, don't get the touchdown. That could have put them in the lead right there. They managed to get the ball back in a minute and 30, go down the field, score a touchdown to tie the game, miss the extra point, forced into overtime. After coming back from 5 turnovers to tie up the game. The Steelers get the ball first, 3 and out. Bengals march down the field. Their kicker's clearly having problems. And on third and long, admittedly, they try for a 30-yard field goal, which, yes, Evan McPherson hit every single field goal attempt in the postseason last year, but He missed a 29 game-winning field goal here. The Steelers go down, also miss a game-winning field goal. Bengals get the ball again, go nowhere with it. Steelers get the ball, field goal in the game with like 0 seconds left in overtime. So much sloppy play there. The Steelers come away with a win with Mitch Trubisky is clearly not the guy for that.
No.
Which, admittedly, every Steeler fan wants Kenny Pickett in there. So we'll see how long that takes to happen.
Pickett, and I don't even give a shit about him. Like, he's the hometown kid. How do you not put him in? Yeah, Mitch Trubisky just looks extremely mid. Like, there's nothing like offensive he's doing, right? Like, there's nothing egregiously bad. He's just
he's the Nickelodeon most valuable players.
So. Oh, hold on. Can we start calling him mid Trubisky?
Yeah, I'm gonna go along with that.
Okay, yeah.
And so, the Steelers pulled away with the win here, but their best defensive player and defensive player of the year last year, TJ Watt, went out of this game with a torn pec. So
Jesus Christ.
They won the game, but at what cost? And then there were reports that after the game that Joe Burrow just sat staring at his locker, still in full pads and whatnot, for like an hour.
He's full Kubrick mode. Just sitting there thinking, it's like, all play and all work and no play makes Johnny a bad boy.
They probably went into that game thinking they were going to dominate the Steelers, and clearly a massive wake-up call for them. But I believe in the Bengals. I think they'll figure it out.
We figured it out last year. I think they can figure it out again.
Yeah, and then going on to the 4:30-ish games, Eastern time. Starting off with the absolute blowout that was Chiefs-Cardinals.
Oh, my God.
Now, a lot of questions about the Chiefs' offense. No Tyreek Hill. Clearly, we didn't need those questions because, good Lord.
Good. I just pulled it up. Mahomes was slanging that shit.
Mahomes destroyed the Cardinals.
That Mahomes guy is pretty good at football.
Listen, he's getting paid $500 million for a reason.
Jesus Christ, 30 for 39. This stat line looks like college. That's what it looks like, a college game.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And he was flinging the ball to everyone on the receive team as well. So.
Oh, I'm looking. That's a long list. I see my boy Juju Smith-Schuster. Good for him.
Yep. Apparently, what the Chiefs needed was to lose Tyreek Hill, so Mahomes had to open up and throw the ball to more people. And the rest of the league should be scared.
Yeah. No, that's I'm gonna say, like, from what we saw at week 1, there's really only like 2 offenses right now that I look at and I just think, holy shit. First one, of course, the Bills, and then the Chiefs. Like, them, it's just like they're kind of offensively in a league of their own.
And clearly gonna run into each other again in the playoffs this year, and maybe the Bills will get away with the win for their first time.
I'm looking here. Trace McSorley got some reps. What happened there? Did Kyler Murray get hurt?
That was probably end of the game. Clearly nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's not get Murray hurt.
Good call.
And so, the Cards just had nothing going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they did manage to score 3 touchdowns in the end, but it was...
That's what I was going to say, 44 to 21. 14 of those were in the fourth quarter in garbage time, so...
Yeah. So, the Chiefs do appear to be back.
That's
pretty scary for the rest of the NFL, because...
It's not great that I have to see Andy Reid, little fat ass, on the sideline all the time, but whatever.
Oh, yeah, another story from this game. The Chiefs kicker, twisted his ankle on, the first extra point kick or some shit like that. Uh-huh. So, the backup kicker was one of their safeties, actually, and this dude kicks balls big. I think he hit a 50-yard field goal or something for them. Despite being a safety. So apparently the Chiefs are looking real. Can't really judge their defense since the Cardinals' offense I don't know. They don't have their best receiver, and they kind of suck in general.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to wait on that. But clearly, the offense is running on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Murray just even kind of look like, ugh. 22-34.
I'm fully in the Murray sucks bandwagon.
Oh no, I've been on that bandwagon for a while, so you're joining me on that one.
That dude is too short to be a quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
also doesn't watch
his
film.
Primary selling point is just scrambling. That's it. That's his primary selling point.
Right, and the Cardinals were forced into giving him a big contract because otherwise he's going to leave and play baseball or play Call of Duty since he's like signed a fucking face.
I would have let him go play baseball, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, the Cards have kind of sucked for a long time, and this is the most relevant they've ever been. So
that's true.
They didn't have much of a choice.
That's true. Good point.
All right, so moving on, we got the divisional matchup with the Raiders and Chargers. Both a lot of big pickups for both of these teams in the offseason. The Chargers did come away with the win.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like to see that.
Kind of like to see that. Never mind. I was kind of like to see that Carr was playing well. Then I see 3 interceptions here. Never mind.
Carr was 3 interceptions. Not great.
Oof, hate seeing.
What you did like to see about that was Devontae Adams, of course, came to the Raiders in the offseason, and they were clearly connecting already. 10 receptions for 141 yards.
God, am I reading this right here? Derek Carr was pressured 29 times for 5 sacks?
Yeah.
Oof.
The Chargers defense is very good on the front line. Nick Bosa is pretty disgusting.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Nick Bosa, of course, was one of those like defensive players out of Ohio State that a lot of people were going like, if he cannot win the Heisman, no defensive player can win the Heisman.
Or sorry, rather, if they actually have Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa with the Niners, I think.
Whatever. Same thing.
Joey Bosa is also from the same school. So they might be the same person, you're right.
I'm pretty sure it's Joey I'm thinking about, though.
Very possible. 6'5", 280 pounds from Ohio State.
No, it was Nick. Never mind.
Oh, well.
I heard Bosa.
Well, both of the Bosas are extremely good at their positions.
It was Nick though that was the one that was up for the Heisman. I think he actually finished 4th, 3rd.
But yeah, I mean, on the defense, the Chargers have fucking Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Kyle Van Noy, J.C. Jackson.
I just want to pause you there for a second. I remember what was so funny about Bosa. Because he was really good. He was in the contention for people thought he should win the Heisman. What I thought was so funny about him was this: a week before the draft, Bosa was criticized by some due to his political beliefs and controversial tweets, such as calling Colin Kaepernick a clown, expressing support for U.S. President Donald Trump, and liking a post on Instagram that included racial and homophobic slurs as hashtags.
Extremely based.
Jeez. Oh, he then apologized, which is a little cringe, but whatever.
I mean, it's
the NFL. You gotta.
Yeah. Speaking of fun names, shout out to Rock Ya-Sin on the Raiders defense.
I'm sorry. What?
His first name is Rock, and his last name is Ya-Sin.
It is. What kind of name is Ya-Sin?
It's a name for sure.
I'm going to have to look that up. Keep going, but I'm going to look that up. He's from Decatur. Okay, hold on. No, I pulled it up real fast. I thought I was going to look it up and he'd be from Timbuktu, like Ethiopia. So he's from Decatur, Georgia. What?
Base?
That can't be a real name. Oh my God, his full name is worse. Holy shit.
What is it?
Abdurrahman Ibn Ramadan Ya-Sin.
I can see why he goes by Rock.
I can see why he goes by Rock, yes. I don't know where he got Rock, but whatever. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so Raiders only losing by 5 despite 3 turnovers. Not too bad on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them are in the same division as the Chiefs, so solid good luck. One of the big shockers of the week, Packers-Vikings. This was, I mean, the best game to watch, but I mean, two-time returning MVP Aaron Rodgers looking absolutely lost out there.
Yeah, he almost, you say lost. He almost looked like he didn't even want to be there.
Which, I mean, it's very possible he doesn't want to be there.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's actually very true.
I mean, 22 for 34, only 195 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception.
Kirk Cousins.
That is, yeah, Kirk Cousins came out and balled.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, the real star of the show is fucking Justin Jefferson.
I was going to say, I just saw that name, and that looks awful familiar. Why do I remember that? He went to LSU. I knew he went to LSU, but...
Yeah, it's LSU. I mean, but 9 catches for 184 yards. And
I remember now why
he was
so
the Joe Burrow year.
He's the gritty guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, yeah. He's the gritty guy.
Which, yeah, the Packers being back-to-back number 1 seeds, back-to-back MVP and Rodgers, and they look absolutely terrible. They clearly have a receiver problem because, I mean, no Devontae Adams, and apparently their offense disappeared. Which I will say, last year the Saints came out and absolutely destroyed the Packers in the first game of the season, and then the Packers did figure it out and come back and win a lot.
No, if anyone can turn a ship around, it's the Packers, because I've seen them do it pretty much every single year.
Right. But it does feel like it's the Vikings' year to win that division.
Could be.
See, not a lot to take away from this game besides Justin Jefferson is still really good at catching footballs, and Aaron Rodgers is maybe a bit too high in the ayahuasca still. And then last 4 o'clock game, the New York Football Giants going to Tennessee. This one hurt. Growing up a Giants fan and now living in Tennessee and like wanting to support the Titans, but I put the foot down and said, "All right, let's fucking go Giants." Watching the end of this game,
very based actually.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants looked like the Giants in the first half of this game. Didn't score a single goddamn point.
No,
although the defense only holding the Titans to 13 points, pretty based. Giants defense has been decent the past few years. And then they came out in the third quarter and Saquon Barkley decided he was Saquon Barkley again.
That was nice, though.
Saquads, as they like to call the guy back before he got hurt. 18 carries, 164 yards, and a touchdown. The league in rushing this year, I mean, long as 68, you love.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's pretty cool.
And then what really did it was the absolute massive balls by head coach Brian Daboll. Go for 2 to win the game. Or go ahead in the game, rather, with a minute left.
Yeah.
They do it. No one expects the Giants to win a game like that.
No.
They get it. And then the Titans lose the game on a missed field goal.
What's so funny is with the way the NFL is now, where everything's like, it's all very, thought out. It's all very mathematical and everything. It's very fun to, like you said, like going for it on 2 to outright win. You love to see like that college style, just like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Right. And then whenever you fuck it up, everyone's like, why don't you fucking go to overtime?
Yeah.
When you get it, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, big shout out to the Giants. You love to see Saquon back in form. I mean, Daniel Jones. He looked like Daniel Jones. I will say though, 17-21. That's pretty good.
Not bad, no. But he's still Daniel
Jones.
He's just kind of like there.
He's still Daniel Jones. He still had a lot of turnovers, 2 in this game. But he did sling the ball a little bit. A nice 65-yard pass to Sterling Shepard.
Man, that boy's got a neck, doesn't he?
He's an interesting looking dude.
He's literally a thumb. Jeez.
Well, he's out of Duke, so.
Yeah, well.
And then the last game of the night, Bucks Cowboy. Not super full, pretty defensive game. Only touchdown was scored in the third quarter. No points scored after that. And I think the real highlight of this was just how bad the Cowboys looked. And now Dak hurt his hand. Is going to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, I think that's the real highlight. Yeah, Dak out for several weeks. Will actually need surgery. Jerry Jones announced not long after the game. They kept cutting to shots of them up in the owner's booth, and it's like you could just tell. You could just see it on his face. He's like, God damn it, not again.
Jerry's pissed. I mean,
yeah.
He got hurt.
Backup?
Cooper Rush.
Who?
Yeah, who indeed. I mean, he didn't look terrible. He actually played better than Dak did, but that's not going to win you.
No. Central Michigan, huh? That's not great.
Which I think one of the big flaws with this team now is they decided to go bold and not pay their wide receivers, and now they're throwing to one.
Huh.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's not... no. Jesus, I'm
just Amari
looking
Cooper
here
and Cedric Wilson.
Fucking the Tampa Bay rushing, Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones, Rashad White. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and the Julio Jones, he and Brady, they connected on a few when they were just apart on a few others, and if those boys get connected, which I'm sure they will because it's Tom Brady and Julio Jones, they're going to be fucking slinging that ball, and it's going to be gross.
Tom's going to invite him to like a couples retreat in Aspen or something for a week.
I mean, that's basically what got him on the fucking team.
I'd go.
Texting him up and saying, "Hey, come down to Tampa. Let's do that TB12 diet. Get your body back in shape." Which, I mean, he was looking like some classic Julio Jones there at some point, so very well is working. So another injury is actually the Bucs had two kind of core injuries. The left tackle for the Bucs O-line, which was one of their big issues, is he got hurt his knee, I think it was, maybe his elbow. Don't like to see that. And then Chris Godwin, who coming from an ACL tear in December last year, so in terms of ACL tears, not that long ago. I believe tore his hamstring in the game, so pretty rough. And so that's about it for the games. One thing I want to talk about was 10 new head coaches this season.
Yeah. A lot of new blood in the game right now.
10 new head coaches, 3 of which were head coaches previously, but of the 9 that played today, 7 came away with wins.
It's not bad.
Pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones that lost were Doug Peterson, former Eagles head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach, now head coach of the Jags, but Jags are a pretty shit franchise. And then Josh McDaniels, head coach of the Raiders, former longtime Patriots offensive coordinator, lost to the Chargers today. And then our 10th new head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, is playing tomorrow, head coach of the Broncos. Let's ride. Russ Wilson is going to go into Seattle and skull fuck them.
Yeah, most certainly.
But pretty exciting games this week.
But the best thing about tomorrow night, though, is little Peyton and Eli.
Oh, that's right. The Manning cast is back.
Yeah, unironically excited for that. Yeah, unironically excited. Have they said who their guests are going to be, or are they just kind of going to freeball it?
Not that I've seen. They might have announced it, and I just don't follow them on Twitter, so I haven't seen it. But.
Oh, okay.
So next, if we want to talk about next week's game, Thursday Night Football. Chargers in Kansas City playing the Chiefs.
Oh, that's going to be good.
That's going to be a good game. Spicy for sure. Apparently we have 2 Monday Night Football games next week. That's a bit weird, but whatever.
Oh, God. I just saw a game I'm not going to have a fun time with.
Tampa Bay, the Saints.
Yeah.
Now, it is important to say that the Tampa Bay has struggled quite a bit with the Saints the past 2 years.
That is true. That, in fact, I believe last year they lost the first one to the Saints.
They did, and the year before that, they lost both of them in the regular season.
Yeah.
But beat the shit out of them in the postseason when it mattered.
Yeah, why are we having to? Cause it's not like they're spaced out, so it's like a double header. They're like colliding.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird.
Sognir in chat saying, how about them Cowboys?
Yeah, that team's dead.
Team's dead.
That team might be last in the division, despite Carson Wentz being in the command.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tampa, I mean, there's no Sean Payton, no Drew Brees, but maybe the Saints will pull out another win from behind again.
I mean, maybe if they can look at what they did.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And Sunday Night Football is Bears-Packers, which traditionally would be a good game, but I'm not convinced that'll be a good game this week.
I mean, unless like, you know, I haven't watched anything, but like, I don't even, because usually like when the Packers start doing that shit where it's like, oh, you know, they suck, you know, Aaron Rodgers comes out there and he gives some real, you know, motivational speech or, you know, little quirky soundbite or something. I haven't seen that yet. And if that doesn't come, I'm not feeling great about their chances. 67 though at kickoff though. Let's go.
I mean, that's up in Green Bay.
I know, but you love to see cooler weather.
You know what? You do. You do.
So I'm just saying, yo, what was up with all the kickers going collectively redacted today?
Oh, yeah. No, the kickers decided not to know how to kick today.
That was
and
great.
It led to some pretty spicy football.
They all just watched like doink compilations on YouTube in the offseason. They went, oh, I want to get on that. I want to be one of those. And it's just doink, 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 doink. A lot of doinks lately.
A lot of doinks.
Like the past couple of years, I just feel like it's just doink, doink, doink. The Red Zone voice guys were dunking on everyone. Man, this is my first Sunday in 2 years without Red Zone. Not a fan. Not a fan. I did look it up. YouTube TV offers it for like $14.99 a month, which for, you know, what, 5 months? Not too bad. I might go in on it. Because we were limited to, of course, in my region, Saints, and then what did we have after that? Oh, I guess the Vikings. It just a bunch of shit games. I was like, I would have rather watched literally anything else. So
yeah,
it sucked being stuck to that. So
yeah, overall, I'm sure the NFL was pretty happy with how the first week went in terms of exciting game.
Oh no, I mean it's just like college. If this is how the rest of the season's gonna be, I can't wait, man. Like I'm excited. I'm excited.
Some say the best season ever.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's definitely going to be a season ever.
Is that because your favorite team is not going to be great?
My favorite team is never that great, so that's kind of doesn't play into it.
Come on, the Saints won the Super Bowl like 15-ish years ago.
Yeah, and that was kind of on a technicality a little bit, so not feeling great about it. I just, you know, well, it is what it is. And even like my backup team kind of sucks, so in the Patriots, so.
Listen, yeah, it's the second year in a row he's sucked in the first game after skipping the preseason, but this year he doesn't have Devontae Adams to bail him out with mega yards after catch every game. Like,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a legitimate struggle for them.
I do too. I don't see him like I said, quirky sound biting his way out of this. Like, you know, I honestly, I don't. I mean, I know why he came back, money, but I think he really should have just retired. He should just headed to the house, man. Like, we can all see it, man. We can all see it on your face.
And you know, Brady did play preseason games, even with missing 11 days of training camp.
Yeah, he did mysteriously disappear into the wilds of Africa or wherever the hell he went.
I mean, I think the rumors about that now are that his relationship with his wife is not the best, which, I mean, can you ever really trust rumors about that?
To be fair, yeah.
That came off him, like, doing a video thanking people or whatever, and he didn't specifically mention his wife. So, like, oh, he hates his wife.
I hate his wife too, so I'm on board with that.
Yeah, but she makes more money than him, so.
She does. Yeah, no, she does. I never got like Gisele Bundchen. I never got like why people think she's like so outrageously attractive. She is attractive. She is attractive.
I'm not a huge fan of her face layout.
Yeah, her face is just kind of like mid. Her body is S tier, definitely, but her face her face is just kind of like, yeah, all right, whatever.
It's like too bony and like kind of wide and.
Yeah, but I guess that's what they look for in models. So,
Right.
Oh god, yeah. Actually, just as I was looking for it, like, oh yeah. So I hate to cite Perez Hilton, who I didn't even know was still alive, to be quite honest. He says trying to fix things with Gisele Bundchen during rough patch. Apparently, she's pissed that he went back to play football, which, okay.
I mean, he's Tom Brady. He's gonna play football.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, sure. She's objectively a 10, but she's also personally she's a lot older than me, so that's already minus points. And then I'm not a fan of her face.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Objectively, I don't even know. Like objectively, she's not even a 10. She's like an 8. She's no. I can't actually even think of someone who I think is really attractive. Does that make me gay?
Maybe. Because I bet you can name a man who you think is really attractive.
Well, Tom Brady. So that was an easy one. kind of set you up for that one. I will say though, there is a picture here of her midriff, and I think it is pulling up to a 9. So. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll say this. Objectively, her body is definitely a 10. Yes. However, when you throw the face into the equation, she's okay. And she's what, German?
So, Brazilian, actually.
Yeah, but Bundchen, that's not a Brazilian name. Oh, she's Brazilian.
It's not.
Where are her people from? Yeah, German Brazilian. So. Yeah, her mother's maiden name was Nonenmacher.
No, base.
Yeah, so maybe don't dig too deep into her family history. I forgot she dated Leo for a while back when she was in his age range.
You know by now never to ask a Brazilian woman what her grandfather was during World War II. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all know the answer to that.
I think we all know that too. Actually, there's a picture here on her Wikipedia page. No. Like I said, body objectively a 10, yeah, so. All right. Yeah, no, great.
Yeah, shout out football.
Shout out football, shout out chaos, mainly, because it's back, and it's better than ever.
Sure as hell is.
Thankfully, though, like I said, it's an even year, so Auburn won't be pulling any bullshit. They can only do it in odd years, as is in line with the deal they made with the, swamps of South Alabama voodoo priestess or whatever. So that's good. Everyone else, though, apparently is just going to pull some bullshit all season long, which is fine. It's fine. At this point, I really don't even know what to... I think back to week 0 when... I forgot who it was. I think it was David Pollock made some insane... No, it wasn't David Pollock. It was Desmond Howard. Made some insane top 4 prediction. Of course, then again, I think he did put Tamu in there, so that's looking a little sus. But we were all kind of laughing. It was like, oh, that's insane. But at this point, maybe actually. I mean,
maybe
it could be. So, yeah. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. If you missed any part of this, VOD will be up tomorrow. Podcast will be up tomorrow. All that will be up tomorrow. We will be back next Sunday. Same time, 11 Central, talking football. It's the only thing we talk about here, which is fine. We have our other show tomorrow night at 11, or sorry, 10. I don't know. It's sometime tomorrow night. It's sometime tomorrow night. We are going to be talking about Gatlinburg. I'm very excited, actually. So tune in for that. Same channel here on Twitch. And I'll see y'all next week. Say goodbye.
Bye.